It was a cold January day in 2009, the kind of day where the chill in the air seems to seep into your bones. They were in the cockpit of US Airways Flight 1549, ready for what was supposed to be a routine flight, just like countless others before it. The co-pilot, Jeff Skiles, and the captain had a full load of 150 passengers and 3 flight attendants, all settled in and ready for the journey ahead. Their destination was Charlotte, North Carolina, a familiar route for them. At 3:24 p.m. they took off from LaGuardia Airport. Everything seemed normal, the engines roared to life and they ascended smoothly. Their climb out of LaGuardia took them over the Bronx, the sprawling urban landscape stretching out beneath them. They were following standard departure procedures, everything by the book, as they had done countless times before. The Airbus A320 hummed beneath them, a familiar symphony of engines and systems working in perfect harmony. They remember looking out at the cityscape, a final glimpse of normalcy before their world changed in an instant. Just minutes into the flight, at roughly 3:27 p.m. they felt it, a sudden, violent jolt that shook the entire aircraft. Multiple bird strikes, one after another, like a barrage of nature's own missiles. It felt like the plane had flown into a flock of very large birds, the impact jarring them in their seats. The impact was unmistakable, a sickening thud that reverberated through the aircraft, sending a chill down their spine. Their years of experience told them this was serious, more than just a minor inconvenience. The engines, starved of airflow, began to fail, their once steady hum turning into a sputtering gasp. The smell of jet fuel and burning filled the cockpit. They were going down, and they had only seconds to react. The first priority was to address the engine failures. We had to act quickly and decisively to prevent a catastrophe. Almost simultaneously, Jeff and I recognized the gravity of the situation. The look in his eyes mirrored my own thoughts. This was a life-or-death scenario. We had lost both engines at a critically low altitude. The margin for error was non-existent. The silence in the cockpit was deafening, the usual roar of the engines replaced by an eerie quiet and the whine of warning alarms. It was a sound that no pilot ever wants to hear. We immediately went through our emergency checklist. Every step had to be executed perfectly. Trying to restart the engines was our first instinct, but deep down, I knew it was likely futile. The damage was extensive. The impact had been too severe. The engines were beyond recovery. We were losing altitude rapidly. The ground was approaching faster than we could manage. Time seemed to slow down. Every second was critical. Each moment felt like an eternity. I had to make a decision, and fast. Lives depended on it. The weight of responsibility was immense. I assessed our options. Returning to LaGuardia was impossible. Teterboro Airport in New Jersey was too far. We were over the Bronx, a densely populated area. Landing anywhere but the river would have been catastrophic. I calmly got on the radio. "This is Cactus 1549, hit birds. We lost thrust in both engines. We're turning back towards LaGuardia. Air traffic control responded, trying to guide us back. But I knew in my heart what had to be done. We're unable to return to LaGuardia," I said, my voice steady despite the tension gripping my entire being. "We're going into the Hudson." Section 4, a river becomes a runway, ditching Flight 1549. The Hudson River it was. It was the only option that offered a glimmer of hope. I had never trained for a water landing in an Airbus A320. No one had. But in that moment, instinct and experience took over. I focused on maintaining control of the aircraft, keeping the wings level, the nose slightly up. I aimed for a stretch of water near the USS Intrepid, hoping to avoid as much river traffic as possible. The plane hit the water with a jarring impact. We had glided to a stop. We were down, but we were alive. Section 5. Evacuation and aftermath. Survival on the water. The evacuation began immediately, with everyone on board understanding the urgency of the situation. The flight attendants did an incredible job. calmly and efficiently getting everyone off the sinking plane. Their training and composure were evident as they guided passengers to safety. Passengers and crew alike helped each other, their actions a testament to the best of humanity in the face of disaster. Strangers became allies, working together to ensure everyone's survival. Ferry boats and rescue crews arrived quickly, pulling survivors from the icy waters and the wings of the plane. Their swift response was crucial in preventing further tragedy. Everyone made it out alive, a remarkable outcome given the circumstances. 155 souls saved by a combination of skill, luck, and perhaps a higher power. The relief and joy were palpable as everyone realized they had survived. The investigation that followed was thorough, leaving no stone unturned in understanding what had happened. The cause of the engine failure was confirmed: Canada geese. This revelation highlighted the unpredictable dangers that can arise during flight. My actions that day were scrutinized and ultimately commended. It was a humbling experience to be recognized for doing my duty. But the real miracle was the survival of all on board. The emotional reunions and reflections that followed were a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. It was a day I will never forget, a day that redefined the meaning of heroism for all of us. The memories of that event will forever be etched in our hearts.